There you go, there's my train. Is California really getting a federally funded high-speed rail? Or maybe a partially paid for, sort of fast train with an uncertain future? Studio 11's Phil Schuman has been reporting live from the Central Valley all this week, where the rail is slated to start production. And today, he is in Fresno, where businesses want to stop the project. Others say, too late.
The ground I'm walking on will soon be torn up and replaced by the new railroad tracks. The buildings behind me, almost brand new, will be torn down. Their owners bought out. Yes, the high-speed rail project is moving forward, but a lot of people, not just here in Fresno, but around the state, are having second thoughts and wondering what, if anything, they can do to stop it. The train is coming right through what's now a thriving business area outside of Fresno. All this will be gone. Business owners like Steve Brandow have been fighting it, but
the feeling is the ship has sailed. There's some hope that with November elections coming, with the federal government saying there's no more money for high-speed rail, that California will wake up. If we don't get Jerry Brown's tax increases, a lot of us believe he'll have to pull the plug on a lot of this project.
Governor Brown pull the plug? Unlikely, as many see this project as his legacy. So the concern is that the conventional diesel tracks now planned for this gravelly section of road outside Fresno are not what Californians voted for in '08, a brand new electrified high-speed rail between San Fran and L.A. Clint Olivier is the president of the Fresno City Council. Can it be undone?
You know, I don't know if it can be undone. It's moved beyond my pay grade as a city council person here in Fresno. But what you have to do is get involved and put your foot down. Californians voted for high-speed rail, maybe not in this form that it's taking. So it's something that, pick up your phone.
But rail supporters, and this is how it was envisioned by the California High-Speed Rail Authority when it was first proposed, say the time for protests and phone calls has long passed. John Hernandez is the president of the Central California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
This is happening. It's not a fantasy. You know, closing your eyes and turning around 3 times is not going to make this not happen. This is happening. The key is your business going to be able to capitalize on it?
And business owners, as well as farmers, were told property and land would be lost, so it can't be a surprise. In fact, the Rail Authority took steps to minimize the negative impacts in the revised business plan released in April. It also reduced overall costs from $98 billion to $68 billion. The question is, will there be money to connect it to Southern California and up north of San Fran?
I have no doubt that there will be. I mean, if you take a look at any major infrastructure project in this country, whether it's a freeway, a bridge, an airport, that is primarily funded by taxpayer dollars, when you build any of those projects, you don't have every dime in the bank the day you begin construction.
Yes, that's the argument the High-Speed Rail Authority is making at countless community meetings. But the bottom line is that not everyone is buying it. And the worry is that once the initial 130-mile stretch is built in the Central Valley, if there's no more money, we'll literally have a train to nowhere.
Yes, but they talk about this so-called blended approach, which is going to be...
It's something Ryan Jacobson of the Fresno County Farm Bureau says is a legitimate issue.
It is moving forward, and unfortunately right now, just a small part of it actually is coming from the federal government. Most of it's going to be coming from the citizens of this state, and there really needs to continue to be discussion and possibly a revote about whether this is the issue that California sees as a priority at this time.
So where do things stand now? Well, the first shovel is scheduled to break ground here in March or April of next year. As for connecting to Southern California, that's at least 10 years off. In Fresno, Phil Schuman, Fox 11 News.
All right, Studio 11 investigative producer Heidi Kuda joins us now to talk about the cost of this project. Heidi, they say $68 billion down from $98 billion. What do you think?
Well, here's what we know. As we do those reports each day, we hear from viewers throughout the state, and one activist group opposed to high-speed rail says they're tired of hearing the cost is $68 billion. Here's why. They pointed out in the High-Speed Rail Authority's own business plan, there's a low-end cost and a high-end cost. Sure enough, we found a $12 billion gap. Basically, the Rail Authority doesn't even dispute it. They admit a high and a low range. $68 billion as the low-cost option and $80 billion as the high-cost option. A spokesman for the Rail Authority told us so far in choosing hybrid alignment from Merced to Fresno, the authority chose the least expensive alignment, which so far puts it at target for $68 billion. Now, they sent us direct quotes from their own business plan explaining the range of costs because they say building options haven't all been determined yet, And to be clear, the so-called hybrid alignment, which is the current blended approach you keep hearing about, uses existing rail to save money. They say they're on target for that $68 billion.
Okay, so the great debate over California's so-called high-speed rail project is something that we have been continuing to cover for some time. We are going to continue to cover it. If you want to see more about this, be sure to log on to our website, myfoxla.com, for everything you need to know about the issue. We will be talking to Heidi. You'll see Phil's stories on there right on the homepage. And you can hear from voices throughout the state, both pro and con.